Welcome to Easy Driver, the most reliable source of automotive information on YouTube. Please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. How to replace your intake manifold gasket. A simple guide. Ever noticed your engine running rough or misfiring? It might be time to replace your intake manifold gaskets. These gaskets are crucial for maintaining an airtight seal between the intake manifold and the engine. When they fail, you can face decreased engine performance, poor fuel economy, and even costly damage. In this video, you'll learn how to identify symptoms of a failing intake manifold gasket, the tools you'll need, and a step-by-step guide to replacing them yourself. This not only saves you money but also keeps your car running smoothly. Let's dive into how you can tackle this essential car maintenance task. Understanding intake manifold gaskets. The intake manifold gasket is a small but vital part of your vehicle's engine. It helps ensure that your engine runs smoothly by sealing the gap between the intake manifold and the engine itself. Without this gasket, you'd face all sorts of performance issues. What is an intake manifold gasket? An intake manifold gasket sits between the intake manifold and the engine. It's usually made from rubber, silicone, metal, or a mix of these materials. The main job of this gasket is to seal the intake manifold to the engine, preventing air and fuel from escaping. Think of it as the glue that holds everything together, making sure the engine gets the right mix of air and fuel. Key points about intake manifold gaskets. 1. Material. Made from rubber, silicone, or metal. 2. Function. Seals the intake manifold to the engine. 3. Importance. Ensures the right air-fuel mix for combustion. Common issues with intake manifold gaskets. Like any part of your engine, intake manifold gaskets aren't immune to problems. Over time, they can wear out, leading to leaks and other issues. Here are some typical problems you might encounter. Common problems. 1. Leaking. Over time, the gasket can crack or wear down, leading to air or fluid leaks. 1. This affects the engine's performance. 2. Wear and tear. Constant exposure to high temperatures and engine vibrations can cause the gasket to deteriorate. 3. Heat damage. Excessive heat can cause the gasket to warp or melt, leading to a poor seal. Symptoms of a faulty intake manifold gasket. So, how do you know if your intake manifold gasket is on its last legs? Here are some signs to watch out for. Signs of a bad gasket. 1. Engine misfires. If air leaks out, the engine can misfire or run rough. 2. Coolant leaks. If the gasket fails, you might notice coolant leaking, which can cause the engine to overheat. 3. Reduced fuel efficiency. A bad gasket can mess with the air-fuel mixture, resulting in poor fuel economy. 4. Check engine light. Modern cars will often throw a diagnostic trouble code, DTC, if something is wrong with the intake manifold gasket. 4. This usually turns on the check engine light. Knowing these signs can help you catch a bad gasket before it causes serious damage. Tools and materials needed for replacement. Replacing your intake manifold gasket isn't as daunting as it sounds, but it does require the right tools and materials. This guide will help make sure you're ready to get the job done right. Essential tools. Before starting, make sure you have the following tools handy. Each tool plays a crucial role in ensuring a smooth and efficient replacement process. 1. Socket set. You'll need a variety of sockets for different bolts. 1. A good ratchet set is essential. 2. Wrenches. Both metric and standard sizes are useful. 2. Adjustable wrenches can also come in handy. 3. Screwdrivers. A set of flathead and Phillips screwdrivers is a must for removing different types of screws. 4. Torque wrench. This is crucial for tightening bolts to the manufacturer's specifications. 4. Over-tightening can damage the gasket, while under-tightening can lead to leaks. 5. Pry bar. Useful for separating parts that are stuck together without damaging them. 6. Pliers. Needle nose and regular pliers can help with removing clamps and hoses. Materials required. Now that you have the tools, let's talk about the materials. These are the items you'll need to successfully replace your intake manifold gasket. 1. Intake manifold gasket. The star of the show. 1. Make sure you get the right one for your vehicle's make and model. 2. Sealant. A high-quality RTV sealant will help ensure a perfect seal. 2. It's like the cherry on top that seals the deal. 3. Cleaning supplies. Rags. For wiping down surfaces and cleaning up any spills. Solvent or cleaner. Useful for cleaning the intake manifold and engine surfaces before installing the new gasket. Brake cleaner or engine degreaser works well. Gasket scraper. Necessary for removing the old gasket material and ensuring the surfaces are clean and smooth. Pro tip. Always have a few extra rags and some hand cleaner around. This job can get messy, and you'll want to clean your hands and tools as you go. Getting all these tools and materials together before you start ensures you're not running back and forth to your toolbox or the store. Planning ahead will save you time and make the replacement process smoother. Step-by-step guide to replacing an intake manifold gasket. Ready to tackle the task of replacing your intake manifold gasket? Follow this guide to get the job done right. From preparation to post-installation checks, we've got you covered. Preparation. Before you begin, preparation is critical. Make sure you have all the tools and materials you need. Steps for preparation. 1. Safety first. Wear gloves and safety goggles. 1. Always work on a cooled-down engine to avoid burns. 2. Disconnect the battery. Remove the negative battery cable to prevent any electrical mishaps. 3. Gather tools and materials. Ensure all your tools and gasket materials are within reach. 3. Refer to our previous section for a complete list. 4. Work in a well-ventilated area. If you're working indoors, open windows or use a fan to ensure proper ventilation. Removing the old gasket. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. Removing the old gasket involves taking off the intake manifold and carefully removing the worn-out piece. Step-by-step instructions. 1. Remove components. Start by removing any parts that obstruct access to the intake manifold, like the air filter housing and related hoses. 2. Disconnect sensors and hoses. Carefully disconnect all sensors and hoses attached to the intake manifold. 2. Label them to avoid confusion during reassembly. 3. Unscrew the bolts. Use a socket set to remove the bolts holding the intake manifold in place. 3. Keep the bolts in a safe place for reassembly. 4. Lift off the intake manifold. Gently lift the intake manifold off the engine. 4. You may need a pry bar if it's stuck. 5. Remove the old gasket. Use a gasket scraper to carefully remove the old gasket. 5. Make sure to get rid of all the residue. Thanks for watching part 1 of our intake manifold gasket replacement guide. In the next video, we'll walk you through the process of removing the old gasket and cleaning the surface to ensure a perfect seal. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe for more automotive information like this. Thank you for watching.